I'm Damon.
I'm Ken.
And we're the Beachside Bros. We are coming at you today with a very special Thanksgiving episode. I'm very fired up for this one, Ken. I'm partial to Thanksgiving. I was born on Thanksgiving. To me, there is nothing better than food, family, and football. But I guarantee you, you've never had a Thanksgiving feast like this. Ken, what do we got today?
Cornish Game Hens, Dame.
All right, sounds awesome. Guys, let's get going on seasoning up these Cornish Game Hens. We're just gonna drizzle just a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of balsamic. The olive oil is a binder. The balsamic vinegar is gonna add some sweetness, again, without sugar, try to be a little bit healthy. So we're gonna drizzle these on there and just kind of massage them in a little bit. Drizzle, nothing, not a lot. Just a drizzle. How's that, Ken?
You're doing great.
Perfect.
Is there anything left in the olive oil thing?
Maybe not. So drizzle a little bit on. You're going to massage it in. Now, the Cornish Game Hens, they are tender. They're a little more tender than regular chickens. They're a little smaller. They're tender. They have a little less assertive flavor. They're made essentially, or they're bred for essentially single servings. So you just put this stuff in, you massage them. It's tender already, so you don't need to massage them too much. That's about it. Ken's gonna come at you with some spices. And yeah, that's it. Pretty easy stuff, guys. This is a really easy prep.
Damon's got the birds all tenderized and softened up for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a little herb rub to go on top of it. We're using, you saw the olive oil and the balsamic vinegar. We're gonna continue on with those flavors using some garlic, some oregano, some basil, some thyme, a little bit of salt and pepper, and then a little bit of grated lemon zest on top of there. So let's get going. I wanna make sure that we make this rub. I'm using a glass because all my bowls are already in use over there. So I got something in them. I don't want to touch the bird and have to come back in the bowl. So glass, we can watch that. I'll use a little bit of salt. Some of that in there. I don't use a lot of salt, but this kosher salt is going to help crispen up that skin on the outside. We'll probably rub some underneath the skin as well. This is a little bit of oregano. And I'm going to go a little bit heavy because I don't really want to run out. And again, we're smoking these birds. The grill is already fired up. We've got applewood and cherry, kind of the same ones we used for the jalapeno poppers the other day. Same blend, half apple. This is a little bit of thyme, ground thyme. Don't feel like you got to add it all. We're doing basil. And I like basil. We've already talked about that in some of our other episodes. And I got to grind it. I don't have any of my smoked black pepper. I need to smoke some more of that.
Those veggies were peppery, Ken.
Let's go ahead and get this on there. You can do this. And again, you're going to get a little bit everywhere, but that's okay. And I'll probably come back and rub. I want to get it all on here and I'll rub it back up. I'm not too worried about. Again, we're out of our nitrile gloves too. I would have already used nitrile gloves, but we were out. And so we're doing it barehanded. It's one of those cool things about doing it in your own house. It's not a restaurant, so we can touch raw meat and then touch glasses and do all that stuff. No one's caring. At least no one here cares. So let's get these guys rubbed up, and I think we are done. Let's get it all over so we can get some underneath. Yeah, nice and tight. I ain't gonna worry about that. Okay. Look, Dave, that's from your rubbing. I got a leg sticking out here. You don't want to touch it too much. Get back in there, pal. So we got our zester, and we're just going to zest up a little bit of this lemon. Make sure it doesn't hit the raw meat. And then I'll spread it around our birds. And then we're going to let this, we'll probably shove him back in here in the fridge. And I'm gonna zest these guys up. We're gonna get these birds on the grill. We're using our regular grill with the smoker box. So we'll see you guys back here as soon as I wash up my hands. Okay, so we're making our stuffing. So we're gonna saute up some veg. We've got some wild rice here, already pre-cooked, trying to save us some time on our shoot. So our pan is nice and hot. And to that, we're gonna add a little bit of chopped red pepper. red onion, and then some celery to get that going. We're also going to add some baby bell mushrooms, and already again pre-chopped. So let's get this guy sauteed. Get our wooden spoon. Get these guys in the pan. This is going to take just a few minutes, and again, we're going to add this to our rice, and then we've got some other things that we want to add in there, and then ultimately it's going to end up in our pre-buttered pan. So let's go ahead and get this guy going here with a little bit of fresh ground pepper. And now we go. That bacon fat is really going to help us out here. Again, let's crank up our heat here. I was trying not to let our pan get too hot. He knows he's got some bacon going. You're going to be a star. Look that way. All right, not happening. All right, so let's let this guy cook, saute. You can hear it sizzling. And once we finish up with that, we're going to stir that all into our rice again, our wild rice, which is ultimately going to end up turning into stuffing. While we're here, we might as well talk about what we're going to add to this. Is we've got some hydrated cranberries. We hydrated it in orange juice, some panko. I browned up some pine nuts this morning. And then this is actually the ground pork from the meatloaf episode. They only sold it in 2-pound quantities. So I took the other half and froze it. To that I added garlic, basil, oregano, some fennel that I chopped up, and some thyme, a little bit of salt and pepper, and we turned it into Italian sausage. So let's give these guys a stir. And I don't want to super cook down these mushrooms. You know, mushrooms absorb moisture, but they also give it out. So we want to make sure that we don't overcook these guys. We want to get them just done, and then we're going to pour them in to our rice. Excuse me, wild rice. We've got a little bit of garlic that we're going to add in here. And to that, I am going to give it just another little shot of bacon grease instead of olive oil, just a little bit. We'll let that guy get fragrant, and then we're going to stir it all in. So I think we are just about right here. So let's crank that heat off, and I'm going to pour this guy. Probably should do it this way. Do it backwards. Try to get it all. Again, this is our moisture component. And I've got one other thing that I've got over there to add some moisture. So I'm going to put this back here. And let's talk about what we're going to add. So, and I'll do it here under the light so you can see. Hot grill. So again, we've got our sausage. I'm going to go ahead and dump that in. Try to stay organized here. Our pine nuts, and I'm just going to eyeball those. Not too nutty. And you can either strain these cranberries, or again, you can use that juice. I'm going to go ahead and use it. And we got a little bit of panko here. And I'm just going to shake that in. And I don't want to go crazy with this panko, so I'm just going to try to take a look at it. And got this in here. And let's stir this guy all in. I think it might need a little more panko. I don't want it to be too bready. I don't want it to be like a traditional stuffing where you're like cutting it. I'm planning on spooning this out, but I do want it to be a little bit tight. So, and this looks about right. So let's get our pre-buttered pan here and dump this guy in. Carrie, can you see? I'll do it backward, be better. Let's see how we got here. So I'm not going to pack that down too heavy. So to this is where you start kind of improvising and trying to figure out what you want to do. And check and see how moist that is. I don't want it to dry out. So if you remember back in the pork butt episode we did after the Georgia-Florida game, we made collards, and I had boiled off some pork necks and saved the water to actually flavor that. I didn't have any chicken stock today. I didn't really particularly want to use it. We were going with this smoky, bacony kind of flavor anyway, so I've got a little bit of this saved water, and I'm just going to, and I took that, after that I did that, I actually froze this. So it'll, even though it's got that fat in it from the pork necks, I froze it off in this Tupperware, and I knew I would have a use for it, and today is the day. So we're going to pour a little bit of that guy in there, a little bit of juice. You don't want to go crazy with this because, again, we want it to cook, but we do want it to be moist. That rice will have a tendency to dry out, especially that wild rice. Sometimes it can get a little cardboardy. So we're going to do that. And then to that, I'm going to put a couple of dollops of butter. It's Thanksgiving, right? We're not here to help you out with your diet today. So you put a little bit of butter in here. If I can get it off. And thank God it's melted. A little bit on this outside over here. And I think we are going to be good. We've got our oven set, our messy oven set at 375. There you can see it. And then we're going to shove this guy in the oven. Again, all of these components are cooked, so we don't have to, kind of like that mac and cheese that we did the other week, we don't have to like go crazy with the heat and bake the hell out of it. It's already done. We're just basically making everything come together. It is time to go get our birds on the smoker, which smells, actually we're using the grill with the smoker box, but it smells fantastic. Applewood and cherry. We'll see you in a second. So what we're doing right here is we wanted to make an apricot glaze to go on our Cornish Game Hens. And this is a simple little glaze that's going to happen. All we did was we spooned out about a cup of apricot jam, preserves. We're going to microwave that for, just until it gets all melty. I'm not even going to strain out any of the apricot pieces that are in there. And then with that, once it comes out of the microwave, we're going to stir in a little bit of Captain Morgan's spiced rum. You'll see things where they use Cointreau, all this kind of stuff. I didn't have that. I did have Captain Morgan's spiced rum. Thanks, Stina, for leaving it over here. And we're going to stir that in. Okay, so we microwaved our about a cup of apricot preserves for about 1.5 minutes. Just if you were doing it in a pan, you just want to get it to where it's boiling. We're going to add our Captain Morgan's in here. Again, this is the spiced rum. It's a couple ounces. If you didn't want to use Captain Morgan's, use water, okay? Or you could use any other kind of rum. Maybe even a dark rum would be good at this point. And this is what's going to go on our Cornish Game Hens when they go on the grill. All right, so we're getting ready to put our birds on. We've got our grill set at about 350. We just reloaded our smoker box. The smoker is smelling terrific. We've got apple and cherry in there. So let's go ahead and get our birds on the grill. We brought 2 pairs of tongs, and we're going to kind of do this as indirect heat. We've got a grill burner that goes in a circle, and then we've also got one in the middle. The middle is turned off. So we are just going to put our guys right in here. And let's make sure we have enough room for all those guys. And We are just about done here. You can see these guys have been resting in the fridge. They dried out nicely. And now we're gonna, this is gonna take probably 30, 40, maybe even close to an hour to get these guys done. So we're getting ready to do our basting. We've been kind of basting along here as we went, but thought we'd show you what it looked like. This again is our apricot marmalade with the Captain Morgan. And we're just going to base these guys on. We just checked the temperature a few minutes ago, but I thought we'd show you guys. These are about at 150 each. We want to get them up to around a little hotter than what you would think for chicken, which is about 165. We're actually going to do these up about 180, maybe 175. This guy, a little hotter on this end. You know how gas grills work. They're always a little hotter on one end than the other. So let's go ahead and just temp this guy up. And let's turn him on first. There he goes. Take my little sunglasses off so I can see the sun's right behind us, so it's like a laser. Yeah, so this guy is at 149. I'm going in a thick part. Let's go in this one. 141. Let's check up here. Yeah, we are going to keep these guys going. We're hoping to get them done here in about the next 30 minutes or so. And we've got our grill set about medium high heat, trying to cook them slow. We definitely don't want to burn them. We don't want any raw meat. There should be some carryover temperature there as well. So check back in a few minutes. So the birds are done, and we know that because we've temped them. They're running about 180, which is a little more than what I would normally do. But for Cornish game hens, that's the recommended temperature. We're going to go ahead and pull these guys off. This is the hot end of the grill, and we're expecting a little bit of a carryover temperature. We've been glazing these guys with apricot and spiced rum. We're gonna let them rest. We still have a few things to cook, and by a few we just mean these guys. Dame's gonna finish that up.
All right, guys, we're gonna get the asparagus on. Ken gets to do all the fun stuff. He plans the recipes. He gets to cook the meat. I get to do the veggies. Awesome. But anyway, asparagus. We've got some olive oil, some pepper, some lemon on it. We're gonna put them on.
Family show.
Family show. Family show. We're just gonna dump these on here. The grill, I think we had it about 400. I'm just gonna throw them on here, get them all evenly spread out. And you're gonna cook them in a few minutes. You'll know when they're done. They get nice and crispy. We'll probably flip them a couple times or roll them over a few times, but that's about it. It's just asparagus.
All right, so we got the big Wusthof, and we've got our birds, and these guys are done. I'm just gonna go right down the middle. And if you're a little squeamish, maybe this isn't for you, but it is for me. And look at that. Man, that is juicy bird. You can actually see we didn't dry it out. Man, oh Shevitz, is that looking good. This is fantastic. It is super juicy, and we're ready to eat. Let's get after it. Dame, I'm gonna let you go and go after it.
And I'm ready to get after it. And just so you know, he mentioned the meatloaf. That meatloaf was the best meatloaf I've ever had. It was unbelievable.
It was really
I'm gonna
good.
dive right into this. I'm really excited about it. Nice and crispy, like Ken said. So good. The flavors are great. You know what? I think if it was turkey, it'd be a little better. But just, this is fantastic. The marmalade, it's crispy. It's got a nice tender. It's very nice and tender. It's got a great flavor to it. It's not turkey, but it's unbelievable. Pretty awesome.
I'm gonna try some stuffing.
Yeah.
I really want to get after the stuffing.
It's hard to talk when your mouth's full, Ken.
Oh man, I like that.
The stuffing's good. It's different than your traditional bread stuffing. It's got the pine nuts, the raisin, the rice. It's different.
There's no raisins in there.
That's not a raisin?
Sharpness? No, it's a cranberry.
It's close enough.
That's what people eat at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
And I hate cranberries too.
Oh, you hate them?
But this is great. I told you it was going to be different. It's different, and it's delicious.
Beachside bros.
Yeah, ring the bell, like us, ring the bell, subscribe, and happy Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble.
Gobble.
Enjoy.